Lil Wayne didn't just drop the Carter 6 to make noise, he dropped it to protect something far more fragile, his legacy. This wasn't about sales, it wasn't about topping charts, it was about reminding the culture who built the blueprint. But the moment it hit, something felt off. The music was solid, the tour was wild, but the impact, it wasn't there. And while Wayne gave the world everything, Kendrick Lamar gave it nothing and still took the moment. So how did a career-defining comeback from one of the greatest rappers alive end up feeling like a cultural whisper? In this breakdown, we're unpacking what went wrong, what Carter 6 revealed, and why the one thing Wayne was trying to protect may have slipped right through his hands. The Carter 6 was meant to be the legacy lock. From the start, the Carter 6 wasn't just another album. It was supposed to be a seal on Lil Wayne's legacy. For fans, the Carter series represents his golden era, and Wayne knew that. This wasn't about chasing trends or competing with younger rappers. This was about reminding the world that he's still the blueprint, the one they all studied. The features were big, the production polished, and the rollout intense. Even his son appeared on the album, a symbolic gesture of passing something down. But beneath all the momentum, there was pressure. Wayne wasn't just trying to make a great album, he was trying to protect a legacy. And that changes everything, because when the focus shifts from artistry to preservation, the stakes get higher and the cracks get louder. This wasn't just a comeback album, it was a cultural test, and not everyone was convinced. Wayne's promo blitz showed desperation, not dominance. The lead up to Carter 6 wasn't subtle, it was a full-blown campaign. Wayne hit podcasts, dropped teaser clips, packed his set list with 30-plus songs per show, and gave interview after interview. On paper, it looked like a masterclass in rollout. But the more it unfolded, the more it started to feel like something else, desperation. Instead of building anticipation, the constant push made it seem like Wayne was trying to force the moment. The album didn't have a defining single. The messaging wasn't clear. Was this about legacy, reinvention, celebration? Fans couldn't tell. One music exec reportedly said, "It felt like everything was everywhere, except where the culture was." And that's the danger. In today's landscape, mystique matters. Kendrick Lamar said almost nothing and still moved the world. Meanwhile, Wayne said everything, and the response was a shrug. The energy was loud, but the moment was missing. The Super Bowl snub hit harder than expected. For Lil Wayne, the 2025 Super Bowl wasn't just another missed gig, it was personal. The game was in New Orleans, his city, his legacy. Fans assumed he'd be center stage. Instead, he watched from the sidelines while Kendrick Lamar delivered a halftime performance that instantly went viral. Sources close to Wayne's camp said the rejection broke him, especially after the NFL reportedly encouraged him to prepare. That sting lingered, and it showed. Kendrick didn't diss him, he didn't mention him, but his presence spoke louder than any verse Wayne rapped. The visual contrast was brutal. Wayne on tour grinding for attention, Kendrick standing still in front of millions. It didn't just shift public perception, it redefined the power dynamic. The Super Bowl wasn't just a show, it was a statement, and the one rapper trying to prove he still mattered was nowhere in the frame. Kendrick's silence said more than Wayne's bars. While Lil Wayne was everywhere, radio spots, podcasts, tour stages, Kendrick Lamar was nowhere. No press runs, no social media push, not even a teaser, and yet Kendrick was still dominating the conversation. That contrast wasn't just noticeable, it was devastating. Wayne's words felt loud, urgent, almost pleading. Kendrick's silence, it felt powerful. Sources familiar with Kendrick's team say that was the point. They knew Wayne would flood the market with noise, and they chose to say nothing. But in a culture where mystery wins and overexposure kills, Kendrick's absence became the loudest message of all. Fans and media filled in the blanks, building Kendrick's relevance for him, while Wayne fought to keep attention. It didn't matter that Kendrick didn't drop a diss. He didn't need to. His silence framed Wayne's campaign as outdated. And in that silence, Wayne's legacy started to feel like an echo. The music didn't miss, but it just didn't move the culture. Let's be real. The Carter 6 doesn't sound like a flop. The production is clean, the bars are sharp, Wayne still raps with fire. But in today's game, music isn't judged by quality alone, it's judged by impact. And so far, the cultural moment hasn't hit. There's no viral anthem, no quote that lit up the timeline. As of now, fan energy feels split. Supporters respect the craft, while others say it feels like Wayne doing Wayne, but not shifting the needle. One early post summed it up. This is solid, but it's not history. That's the challenge. You can make great music and still miss the moment. Kendrick Lamar didn't even drop a song, and yet somehow he's still dominating the cultural narrative. Carter 6 has sound, it has energy, but legacy needs more than music. It needs movement, and right now, that movement hasn't fully arrived. Fans started writing the legacy for Wayne. What really shapes legacy today isn't just critics or numbers, it's the culture's reaction in real time. And as Carter 6 landed, fans didn't explode in celebration. They leaned in with caution. Early reactions on social media were mixed. Some praised the nostalgia, others questioned the album's relevance. TikTok surfaced, calling it a reminder, not a return. YouTube creators compared it to Wayne's earlier work, noting that while the bars were sharp, the impact wasn't. One tweet that gained traction read, "Wayne's still great, but he's not leading anymore." That quiet sentiment hit harder than any bad review, because in 2025, perception spreads faster than performance. Sources close to Wayne's team were hoping for a louder reception, but what they got was reflection. And when the culture starts defining your legacy for you, it's hard to take that power back, especially if the shift is already in motion. Wayne's own words gave Kendrick the crown. Sometimes legacy isn't lost in a moment of defeat, it's surrendered in a moment of honesty. During an interview promoting Carter 6, Lil Wayne casually referred to Kendrick Lamar as one of the greatest to ever do it. It wasn't meant to be dramatic. It sounded like respect, but in context, it hit differently. Fans clipped the quote, Twitter ran with it, TikToks framed it like a baton pass. For an audience already sensing a shift in power, Wayne's words didn't sound like praise, they sounded like confirmation. Sources close to the campaign reportedly said the quote wasn't planned and caught even his team off guard. But once it was out, there was no taking it back. Kendrick didn't need to say a thing. Wayne said it for him. And just like that, Carter 6 started to feel less like a statement and more like a salute. The industry waited, but didn't jump in. As the Carter 6 hit streaming platforms, something unexpected happened. The industry didn't move. There were no high-profile brand partnerships, no viral endorsements, no curated cultural moments tied to the album's launch. According to a source close to a major music agency, several opportunities were on hold, waiting to see how the public responded. So far, the response has been muted. While Wayne's rollout was aggressive, the business side remained cautious. Meanwhile, Kendrick Lamar, with no album release, continued to be tapped for cultural spotlights, retrospectives, and legacy collaborations. It's not that the industry rejected Carter 6, they just didn't rush to rally behind it. In 2025, that kind of hesitation is a statement. No disrespect, no noise, just silence. And in a game driven by relevance, the absence of urgency says more than any review could. The question now is, how long will they wait? Legacy isn't about sound, it's about timing. Lil Wayne didn't lose his talent. That's never been in question. His delivery, wordplay, and energy on Carter 6 reminded everyone why he's a legend. But legacy isn't just about what you can still do. It's about when and how you do it. Timing matters, and Carter 6 arrived in a moment that had already moved on. Kendrick didn't drop a project. He didn't throw shots, but he owned the cultural calendar. From the Super Bowl to subtle verses and brand moments, Kendrick's presence was synced with the zeitgeist. Wayne's wasn't. It's not that Carter 6 came too late in years, it came too late in rhythm. The wave had shifted, and Wayne was paddling upstream. That's not a reflection of his skill, it's a reflection of the moment. And when your legacy depends on re-entering a game that's already reset, the challenge isn't lyrical, it's generational. You can't reclaim a throne that's already been rebuilt. Lil Wayne didn't fail. He fought. Carter 6 was passion, legacy, and lyrical craftsmanship wrapped into one final swing at cultural relevance. But what he may not have realized is this: the throne he was chasing no longer exists. It's been dismantled, redesigned, and rebuilt by a new era, one where silence can be louder than bars, where mystique outranks media runs, and where timing outweighs nostalgia. Kendrick didn't take anything from Wayne. He simply became what Wayne once was, the moment. And once that shift happens, you can't reverse it with verses alone. Sources close to Wayne's circle say he gave this everything, and it shows. But legacy isn't reclaimed, it's reinterpreted. Carter the Sixth didn't fail because it lacked quality. It fell short because the game had already crowned its next chapter. And sometimes, history moves on before legends get the chance to catch up. Lil Wayne will always be one of the greatest to ever touch a mic. That's not up for debate. But Carter 6 wasn't just about proving skill, it was about reclaiming space. And in today's culture, space isn't given, it's felt. Kendrick Lamar didn't push Wayne out, he simply stood still while the culture moved around him. That's the truth behind Carter 6's collapse. It wasn't about talent, it was about timing, energy, and who the world decided to follow next. Do you think Wayne still has one more moment left in him? Or did the industry quietly close the chapter while no one was watching? Let us know in the comments. And if you're here for the truth behind the music, not just the hype, hit that subscribe button. We've got more stories coming that the mainstream won't tell.